Hi, this is Dave Farenthold with Inspectosaurus, and this video is going to be 16 best practices for writing home inspection report comments. I want to start off by mentioning a book that I've written. It's a Texas Home Inspection Report Comments. It's going to be a digital format book. It's a PDF, so you can easily copy the comments out of the book and into your software or your report. There's over 800 comments, and it's mainly for the Texas Home Inspector. And here's where you can purchase it from my eBay store. Okay, first one, it's recommended that you write your comments in a standard format. The standard format is going to keep comments concise and consistent. It's going to make the report easier to read, and it gives the report a professional and polished appearance. And it's easier to quickly write a new comment when there is a standard format. So, for example, let's say you run into something you've never seen before during inspection. You're going to know how to write that comment quickly because if you have a standard format. I'll show you here and coming up. And it's also easier to use part of an existing comment to make a new comment when there is a standard format. So let's say you see something wrong with the window, but you can easily just use a comment that's for a door and just change from door to window. So it's that simple. So here's a standard format that I use. First thing, I'm going to state what the deficiency is, and then I'm going to state what the requirement, standard, or code is, or maybe there's something from the SOP. I'm going to state if it is a safety hazard, and then I'm going to recommend repair if necessary. So here's an example. The deficiency is observed. I observed the front porch stairway missing handrail. Handrail is required if there's more than 3 risers. This is a safety hazard. Recommend handrail is installed by carpentry or general contracting professional. So clear and written in the standard format. So with the standard format, the deficiency is obvious and simple. Then some of the comment standard format parts may not be necessary. So here's an example of one. It's a very simple thing. Observe crack window. Observe crack in window in back bedroom. So I did not feel it was necessary to include anything else with this one. Okay, number 2, comments should be concise and to the point. So pretty obvious. No need to discuss further. Number 3, comments should be written in past tense. This is going with the way the inspection is viewed as this. It's not going to represent the operation or condition of any items after the date and time of the inspection. So that's why your comments should be written in past tense. I like to use a verb like observed. I like to start my comments with observed. The statement's already done in past tense. Okay, number 4, comments should not be an opinion. And this is maybe not 100% all the time. If you want to give an expert comment and you have some evidence, some data, some pictures showing the deficiency, then if you want to include that type of opinion, then that's okay. What I'm talking about here is a type of opinion though you're stating whether they should or shouldn't buy the house. You would never include that in a report. Whether you would never say anything like I wouldn't buy this house, something like that. That's unprofessional. That should not be included in a home inspection, so you want to avoid that type of opinion. Okay, number 5, comments should only contain one deficiency or item. So you need to make a separate comment for each deficiency. So, for example, you open the water heater closet and you start looking at the water heater. You see corrosion at the bottom of the water heater. You see it's missing a drain pan, and let's say the TPR drain line the drain pipe has a deficiency. So those are 3 separate deficiencies, so you should write a comment for each one of those deficiencies. Okay, number 6, try to avoid using the word code. A home inspection is not a code inspection, and recommend use the word standard or required instead. If you start saying things in your report that are not up to code, then your customer, your client may think that you're going to do a code inspection for the entire house, and you don't really want to go down that road. So yeah, recommend not using the word code in your inspection comments. Number 7, try to avoid using the word grandfathered. Okay, it's ambiguous. It's not really a professional word. It can mean different things to different people. So avoid using the word grandfathered. All right, number 8, recommend stating deterioration instead of rot. Recommend stating organic growth instead of mold. Recommend stating wood-destroying organism instead of termites. So especially with mold, you can't really tell if something is mold unless the organic growth is taken to in a laboratory setting and tested to confirm that it's mold. So don't say it's mold, just say it's organic growth. Same thing with like asbestos. You don't want to say that something is asbestos. You want to say it's an asbestos looking material, and then maybe also state that it can't be determined to be asbestos unless it's in a laboratory setting. It's got to be confirmed in a lab that it's asbestos. Sometimes that. So stay away from these words. Number 9, try adding a location to your comment as possible. So the example here is deficiency observed missing grout in between tiles and master bathroom shower. Recommend repair by tiling professional. So this is really going to help your customer out if they're looking at a lot of different repairs. Where was this problem? Where was the deficiency? So it's good to add a location to the comment. And then some of the reports writing software for home inspectors, it makes the location an option selection within the comment. So there's a little drop down and it says, kitchen, bathroom, hallway, something like that. So it's pretty slick. All right, number 10, don't try to state each location for multiple locations of the same deficiency. If you try to state each location and you miss one, you could be held responsible for the miss. So what I do, if I find more than 2 of the same deficiency, I just say multiple, and I don't try and name each location of the deficiency. An example here is multiple gutters discharge at foundation. Gutters should have a splash block or extension to discharge away from the foundation and prevent erosion. So, it's an older house. Let's say the gutters need a lot of repairs. Don't try and put in your report every single place that needs the repair. Just say multiple. Same thing. I walk into a house and I got one cracked window, then I got a second cracked window, and then later on, if I find a third, that's it. I'm saying you got multiple cracked windows, and move on with it. Okay, number 11. Clearly state if a finding is a deficiency. Clearly state if a finding is informational, and clearly state if a finding is a safety hazard. So this is something I learned early on when I first started inspecting, and actually asked some of my customers and some of the realtors I was working with, what did they think of the report, and if they had any feedback on the report, and what they told me was that it would help if it was a deficiency, clearly state that it is a deficiency so they know what they have to concentrate on. And what I've seen other home inspectors do is they may make the deficiency red font, and then informational they may do blue or green font. I've seen other home inspectors, they will have a section, all the deficiencies are in one section, and then they'll have another section which is informational or improvements that they recommend. So make sure that's clear what you're talking about. And so here's an example. I like to actually start the comment with the word deficiency or information. So it's pretty clear, right? If it starts with deficiency, it's a deficiency. So this one is a safety hazard. So I have clearly stated here that this is a safety hazard. The next one's going to be information. This is just saying that I measured the temperature of the ovens. So it's just information. It's not a deficiency. Okay, number 12. Let's say in your comment you mentioned a safety hazard. So if you mention a safety hazard or dangerous repair, then make sure you state the repair should be done by a professional and a licensed professional. You don't want your customer attempting the repair themselves or hiring a handyman. So, you find something wrong with the electrical system, then you want to state to have it repaired by a licensed electrician. Okay, number 13. It's better to say could not locate instead of missing or not there. So I learned this from my own experience. One of the first inspections I did was I had a landscape irrigation sprinkler system, and so I stated in the report that the rain detector was missing, and that was not correct because the rain detector was actually at the top of a fence, and it was kind of covered by a bush, so I couldn't see it. So I had to eat that one. Another example is if you look and look and you cannot find access to the attic. So and then you come to find out later that you actually had to you have to remove the gable vent in order to access the attic. So you put your ladder up there, remove a couple screws, and that's how you access the attic, through the gable vent or gable vent cover. So in that case, you don't want to say that there is no attic access. You just want to say that you could not locate it. Okay, number 14, try to include a picture with every comment if possible. Pictures are an essential part of any home inspection, and they're there to support the comments. In some cases, the picture is more important than the comment itself, right? And you know, some comments aren't going to make any sense unless you include a picture. And there's also times, for example, you know, in the attic or in you know, up on the roof, that you can't take your customer there to show them, so you're going to have to show them with a picture. So pictures are very important. Okay, and then in some cases there might be something missing. Um, so that's why you may want to include an illustration or a diagram. And also a lot of times most of your customers are not going to be familiar with what you're talking about. So including an illustration or diagram will help them understand. So here's an example of this is a diagram. If a water heater, gas water heater, or gas furnace is located in a closet, and then there's not proper combustion air vents. So you're supposed to have a high vent and a low vent. So a lot of times the gas appliance is actually using the air from the conditioned air that's in the living space, which is not proper. It should be coming from, it should be using a good supply of exterior air or air from the attic for combustible air. So here's a diagram to help your customer understand. So a good source of these illustrations are going to be the Illustrated Home that's published by Carson Dunlap. And then also the International Association of Certified Home Inspectors has a gallery of illustrations for its members to use. So if you're a member, then you have access to all of theirs. Okay, so last one, spelling and grammar. Shouldn't have to state this, but please have proper spelling and grammar. You know, if you're a professional, you know, a professional report would not have mistakes. These people are paying for a service, so give them what they're paying for. So it's a good idea to proofread your comments and spelling. Spend 10 to 15 minutes, go over the report, make sure everything looks good. That's it. Last thing I'd like to mention is pre-written comments. Pre-written comments are going to be pretty important. So these are going to be comments that you're going to load your software up, and you know, if your comments are pre-written, then just guaranteed you're going to have written comments because you have them already ready to go in your software. If you're going to complete your report on site or the same day, then you have to have pre-written comments. That's going to be essential. And then if your comments are pre-written, then that's going to eliminate the typos and misspelled words because you've already done that. And then the pre-written comments can hold some of the code and standard information, so you don't have to go look that up every time. And so, as I mentioned before, I have a book of 800 comments that you can use. These comments are basically on every item that's included in a home inspection in Texas. So this is where it can be purchased. That's it. Thanks. Have a good day.